What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Buns video. Today, some really big news was brought out officially by EA. It's about Madden 19 franchise mode. And you guys probably don't know this, but I like to play franchise mode a lot. It's my favorite mode in Madden. So let's get into it. Let's see what the news is. So I'm on the official EA website. This is all official stuff. And first thing it talks about is player archetype progression. So you won't be progressing your players. You guys can read this while I talk if you want. I'm not going to read it out for you. You can read faster than I can probably in your minds than out loud. But what this basically means is instead of you manually upgrading certain things yourself, what you do is you upgrade an area of your player you want, like field general. And the CPU will give random upgrades based on that. So you click give us a West Coast upgrade, and West Coast relies a lot on accuracy and play action skills, and the CPU will randomly upgrade some things in that area. So it makes some progression a lot more realistic. So a lot of people just upgrade like carrying to 99, awareness to 99 on their players, and that's not realistic. So this makes the players more rounded and a lot more realistic progression. I like it. So that's what that's about. You can see right here about Stefan Diggs. You see him developing right there. And then here are the archetype types. You can read down that really quick. Pause it if you want to read all that. But there's different archetypes for every player. Scheme fits. You can pause to read all this as well. Basically, what it's saying is if your player fits your scheme, then he'll progress better. Certain players fit your scheme and others don't. And I really like this. It's once again just makes the game a lot more realistic, makes progression a lot more realistic. It makes so that getting players based on what scheme you have is important, because in real life, that's extremely important, getting players based on the scheme you have. So, for example, let me think. Kelechi Osemele is a great offensive lineman, but I'm not so sure the Eagles would want him because the Eagles really rely on fast offensive linemen like Lane Johnson and Jason Kelce. And Osemele is more of a slower guy, so they probably wouldn't want him. Well, on Madden, of course, you would want him just because he's a high overall. But this makes some of your scheme more important. Okay, and there's all the type of schemes. You can pause there if you want to read that. Next is my favorite thing they're adding. It's the draft class creator. So in week 3 of the regular season, you decide whether to use rookies EA made, or import ones you made, or download ones other people have made. What it basically is any kind of draft class. It can be real life players, fake players, whatever. So like there'd probably be like an 83 overall Ed Oliver, 82 Jarrett Stidham, and it'll be fun, and it'll save me personally. I love to edit my draft classes manually all the time. This will save me a ton of time, and that's a big reason why I really like this. So big news there. People have been asking for that for years. There you can see the players, and you can go in and edit them. I'll just scroll over this, pause all this if you want to read it, but I'm basically summing it all up myself. For multi-user leagues, only the commissioner can address the draft class, so if you're in one of those, that's important. Right here we see the rating ranges and it's kind of a little guide to help you create the players and the draft classes for yourself. Next, we're on to depth chart positions. So what this basically means is, in real life, like the Saints, they have their power running back, who is Mark Ingram, and more their speed receiving back, who is Alvin Kamara. And Madden will finally have that, where they have different positions for that. Instead of just one guy who carries the ball all the time, you'll now have different guys come in for certain formations. Like a really spread formation, you'd have Kamara in. For a run-heavy power formation, the CPU would bring in Mark Ingram for you. So that's really nice, saves you a lot of time. It should also make the simulations more realistic, so that we don't have a ton of 1,000-yard rushers every year, and that'll really help. And as you can see for yourself, here I'll scroll. Oh, it doesn't show all the new positions. Well, there's stuff like slot, receiver, rush, defensive. Here, pause right here if you want to read it all. And right here, it also sums a lot of it up. Next, player ratings. They're adding new ratings, which I really like. These ratings look like they're important and not arbitrary. They actually make a difference in gameplay, which is good, because that's what ratings are for, obviously. So, here's the new ratings. My favorite one is probably the break tackle rating, because it was just really hard to understand, well, what makes it so that my player breaks tackles more? You know, this combination of strength, agility, trucking, elusiveness is hard to understand. They finally sum it up in just break tackle. Determines broken tackle success for ball carriers versus standard tackles. Makes it a lot simpler. Another one I really like is the break sack rating, because in real life, some players such as Cam Newton and Carson Wentz and Dak Prescott obviously break tackles a lot more than other players such as Jay Cutler. And there's a bunch of other ratings. The run block power, run block finesse, lead block. These route runnings are really nice because some players obviously run routes at different parts of the field better than others. For example, Jarvis Landry is a very good short route runner, but he hardly did anything on deep routes. Julio Jones runs his medium and deep routes very well, but hardly did anything on short routes, which was very showed up especially in the red zone when he could only produce 3 touchdowns. This doesn't really matter to me. It might be cool to other people, but immersive environments has these menus, shows your coach looking at his computer. If you're in career mode, it shows your player in his locker room. That's cool, I guess. This is kind of neat, where when you draft a player, there's this whole stage like you'd have in the real NFL with the crowd, and your player comes up and poses. You get to see him in his uniform, so that's kind of neat. Another thing I'm noticing is the face paint looks a lot better this year. Yeah. Snapshots. You can, I'm pretty sure the CPU takes photos of your best plays of the year for you and puts them up in like paintings throughout the game. That's cool. That's neat. Team captains. This is a little disappointing for me. Team captains, you get to designate 6 captains, up to 6 captains on your team. And it looks like it doesn't really make a difference. It's mainly an aesthetic feature. I was hoping that what I was hoping for was that like captains would help guys in their position groups progress more quickly, and would like, I don't know, add leadership stuff. I don't know, but I was hoping for something that would affect gameplay and progression. It doesn't do anything. It's mainly for aesthetics. That's a little disappointing. A big one here is regression. At the end of each season, players regress based on their age of development trait. This year, the regression is much more dynamic, meaning that each train will have a unique chance of going down. High development trait players regress slower than other players, and the age which players at different positions start regression has been adjusted as well. And on and on and on. So this is huge, because in the past, everyone would start regressing at like age 28, which is totally unrealistic. You see QBs, like Tom Brady's playing the best of his career at like age 39 and 40. He didn't start regressing at age 29. While other players such as running backs, like I'd be happy to make it to age 28 as a running back and not be regressing. I mean, that'd be great. A lot of running backs start regressing really early, such as Arian Foster and Doug Martin. While other positions, they don't regress for a long time. So this regression thing, for me, this makes, out of all these features, it makes the game the most realistic. Franchise mode, most realistic. I really like that right there. And then stuff about new development traits. They got rid of slow development. I don't know why they did that. There's less superstar players this year, which I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like there's a good amount of superstars in the NFL, but whatever. And it makes it so that you have to earn to keep your trait. If you don't play well, your trait will go away, but you can earn it back. So that's pretty cool. Let me know what you guys think about these features. I might be adding Madden franchise mode to the channel when it comes out in August. We'll have to see. But don't forget to like and subscribe. Buns out.